saying hope everyone's well, hope everyone's good. It's your favorite R&B connoisseur, Henry here. And I'm back with my brother from another, Mr. Mombere. Mombere.
Yo, Wagwan fam, Wagwan.
Yes, guys, listen, we're here to bring you our review of Kendrick Lamar's fifth studio album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It's been a long 5 fucking years, but Kendrick is back. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back to save the rap scene.
From a demise, fam. You get me? Bro?
Yes, from a demise. Yeah, it's been a bit dry in the streets for the last few years, but Kendrick is back to save our souls. I mean, we were all surprised when Kendrick announced his album a couple weeks ago. I mean, me myself, Kate, I kind of knew that the album was coming. I just didn't know when. I just didn't know when. So he shocked the world a few weeks ago when he announced his album titled Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And probably a week or two after that, he kind of hinted that this album would be a double album. A double album, which, you know, set the timeline in a frenzy. Obviously, before we get into the review, when Kendrick announced his album, and when he sort of signified that this will be a double album, what were your thoughts and feelings?
Oh, you know, it's really interesting when people make double albums. To be honest, and even listening to the album, I kind of I didn't clock it was a double album until I think I saw Fantano post up saying how to listen to the album. I was like, hold on, I remember again, this is a double album, because the way I was consuming it was like a long album. And then I was like, what? I was like, for fuck's sake, this is a long album. Why is it so long? When I started to listen to it as a double album, I finished it. The first part. I think the last part is the Ghostface Killer with the Ghostface Killer record and Summer Walker.
Yeah, Purple Hearts.
Purple Hearts. And then today I just managed to finish the other half as well. So then I just felt okay, cool. Now it's much more manageable and listenable.
Yeah, bro. I think for me, I didn't expect it. First and foremost, you know, I didn't expect it. And normally, you know, double rap albums over the last few years haven't banged in it. I mean, one double album that comes to mind is Drake with Scorpion. But obviously it's Drake, you know, and no disrespect to Drake, he's a good artist, but he's not on Kendrick's level. Do you understand? it's not on Kendrick's level. So yeah, I was pretty sort of intrigued at the fact that this was a double album. But for me, knowing how great Kendrick is as an artist, I said, you know what? Even though this is a double album and he probably has more than 15 to 16 songs on it, I feel like this is definitely gonna work. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously Kendrick, it's been 5 years since Kendrick released dropped an album, and obviously between that time, I'm sure he's recorded a lot of music. And one thing I love about Kendrick is the fact that he takes his time when he makes his art. He doesn't this, you know,
it's
release
not
an album.
Future,
exactly. It's not Future, brother, or Drake even. He takes his time to make his album. So I was pretty excited. I can't lie, you know, because we've been starving out in these Kendrick streets for a while now, innit? So for me, I was all for it. But I think the interesting thing was, obviously when the album finally got released, for me, I was very interested to see what direction he would go with on this album.
Same.
So Kevin, like I said, double album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It got released this time last week. So I know you've had a chance to listen to the album a few times. What are your initial thoughts and feelings about this project, about this double album from Mr. Kendrick Lamar?
I think it's a really good album. It's a really good album. I would like to say that I don't love it. Maybe over time I'll get to love it. But I really do like it. I think it's a really good album. And we are getting, what can I say? I mean, we are getting something a little bit different, something a little bit new, but this is still Kendrick that has always been there. Like, we still get in the social conscious Kendrick from back in the Section 80 days. We are getting the self-reflective Kendrick that's talking about, you know, dealing with being in the industry and dealing with being a martyr of some sort, that we get into it further when we speak or something about certain specific tracks, like, or, you know, on the record, Damn. Obviously, we get other social political sort of records, like we get, or, you know, from Pimp a Butterfly. But we also get current topics. We get, you know, Auntie Diaries, which is a current topic record as well. Yeah, I mean, we're getting quite a lot of, a little bit old, but also a lot of the new as well in terms of just the abstractiveness. Let's say like their first record, United in Grief as well, quite jazzy abstractions, in terms of sonic tunes going there. Same thing with N95 as well. So it feels like Kendrick is being, a little bit more daring in his sonic choices, you get me? And not giving us like safe melodies, that we instantaneously we like, giving us melodies that will take a little bit longer for us to sort of, get used to and then end up loving. So I'm hoping that also be my journey, that the more I will listen to this album, the more I end up getting loving it. But overall, that is my initial thoughts. And I think it's a really, really good album. I really like it. And they will be on my end of year list. I will say that already.
For sure. Yeah, bro. Like, I was the same. I mean, obviously, when I first took a listen to the album, I was a bit like taken aback because obviously I kind of didn't expect Kendrick to sort of go that direction in it because, like you said, for me, obviously summing this album up in one word or in a few words, like I think this album is all about like healing, self-reflection, growth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, from top to bottom, I feel like this album is definitely feels like a therapy session, Kendrick's own personal therapy session.
Yeah.
Where obviously he's letting us know obviously the stuff that he's been through over the last few years that we haven't heard from him. And not even just over the last few years, just from his childhood. So this is definitely Kendrick's most personal album. It's definitely his most like he laid his feelings on the line on this album like a true R&B singer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was just like all he needed to do was just sing, fam.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like he sings on a couple of records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
he does.
Got a couple. And he's got a couple R&B influenced songs on this tape. Obviously, IE being what's it called? What's the one with Summer Walker? Purple Hearts.
Summer Walker record with Ghostface Killah.
With Ghostface Killah. Yeah. I feel like this album is definitely Kendrick's most ambitious album sonically. And just even in terms of his
do you think so?
I think it is, okay. I think it is.
I can't like. I feel like the reason why I'm putting a little bit of butter, I was thinking to Pimp a Butter. Actually, I was thinking to Pimp a Butterfly. That's a good. I don't know. That's a good question. God.
Yeah, he definitely mixes different sounds. Like you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you're saying earlier, I feel like Kendrick has taken a part of each album that he's ever done. Yeah, so he's taken elements of Good Kid, Mad City. He's taken elements of To Pimp a Butterfly. He's taken elements of Damn, and he's all merged them into one. Do you understand? And even what I was saying before, where it's like there's a couple of the songs on here that if they were placed on Yeezus, Kanye's album Yeezus, they wouldn't feel out of place to me.
Like N95, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Even United in Grief. I think United Grief.
Exactly, United in Grief. United in Grief as well. So it's like I can't say that about any other Kendrick album. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
I can't say that about it. So that's why I feel like this is his most ambitious album sonically.
I mean, you got a point. The more I think about it, you're right. I think you're right. You got a point.
And again, he touches on topics that I feel like a lot of these rappers don't have the ability to touch on. Like he touches on subject matters that are sort of plaguing the Black community and have plagued the Black community for years. Do you understand? Black trauma, obviously infidelity, mental health. Do you know what I mean? Like mental health.
I think he's also talking about like sexual abuse as well.
Yes, sexual abuse.
On the last few records, on the second part of the second album.
The second part of the album. Yeah, obviously we'll get into that more as the review progresses. But topics that are sort of
they're sensitive but not spoken to out in the open.
Yes. They're very relevant. Like
they're very relevant. For sure.
That's the word I'm looking for. Like they're very relevant in this day and age that we're living in. These type of topics, Kevin, are being talked about. So I feel like just to sum up, this is definitely one of my favorite Kendrick albums. And I feel like over time, because I think with Kendrick, it was the same feeling I had with To Pimp a Butterfly. But initially, when that album came out and I heard it, I wasn't really feeling it too much. I wasn't really feeling, but like sometimes you just got to sit on it. Like sometimes you just got to sort of give it time for the album to marinate. And I think this album is very much, you know, in that category where it's like, maybe on your first and second listen, you might not, you know, you might not like it,
but
or
then
you might think it. The more you listen to it, because the more I listen to The Pimp a Butterfly, Kevin, I remember like, the more I listened to it, the more I was like, you know what, this is an absolute classic. This is Kendrick's best album. Obviously, I know you've got Good Kid, Mad City as your favorite Kendrick album, but for me, To Pimp a Butterfly is his sonically his best album. And I remember Jarvis, obviously, who is part of Still Color. He initially didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly, like me, but then over time, he was like, you know what, this is Kendrick's best album. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like with this album, it's similar, where it's like a lot of people might not like it at first, but over time, yeah, they're gonna put it up there in Kendrick's discography. So Kevin, like, just obviously moving on slightly, what did you make of, you know, obviously split into essentially two albums, similar to what Outkast did with the Speaker Box and the Love Below. So what side did you like more? Did you like Mr. Morale, or did you like the Big Steppers?
No, I feel like both sides are quite similar, to be honest. I'm still grappling on, and maybe you can answer this question, like, what is the difference between the two sides of the album?
Mr. Morale, the first track on Mr. Morale, I think it's called Count Me Out.
I
think obviously you hear at the beginning of the track, there's a little sort of interlude from Whitney, who's his partner. Shout out to Whitney. Shout out to Whitney. But she basically says session 10, breakthrough. So basically what that means is, obviously Kendrick has been going to therapy. Do you know what I'm saying? He's been going to therapy. That's why I said in the beginning, like, I feel like this album is Kendrick's own personal journey and personal therapy session that we're listening to. And that obviously we're going on a journey with him. So obviously when she says session 10, which means obviously it's been 10 sessions, there's been a breakthrough. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how therapy works. Obviously you go to different sessions, and then there's always that one session where there's a breakthrough. Do you know what I'm saying? Things start to,
if you stick at it.
If you stick at it, things start to make sense. So session 10 was Kendrick's breakthrough. So obviously I feel like Mr. Morale, that side of the album is Kendrick's breakthrough. Do you know what I'm saying? It's Kendrick. It's Kendrick, you know, basically it's his healing. You know what I'm saying? It's all about his healing. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's all about self-reflection and growth, and him realizing that obviously, you know, I haven't been living the best life for my family, especially obviously my kids and my wife, innit? So obviously I feel like Mr. Morale is that side of the album. Big Steppers, I may be wrong, but I feel like the Big Steppers is what was the notes that I made? Him obviously just
before the healing.
Yes. But him coming to terms with the fact that, like, because again, when at the start of the Big Steppers, I think the first track, Kevin, you mentioned it before, United in Grief. Yeah. There's an interlude on there where Whitney again, she's like, tell them the truth, tell them. Do you know what I mean? So then I feel like that was like his first therapy session, where it's like, you know, when you go to therapy for the first time, they're like, okay, cool. What have you been going through? Do you know what I'm saying? Tell us what you've been going through. Tell us the truth. So I feel like that side of the album, is basically Kendrick just letting out everything that he's been going through. Do you know what I'm saying? His inner demons. Do you know what I'm saying? His inner demons and stuff that's been holding him over the past years. Stuff that's basically got him to that point where he has to go therapy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The more I think about it, I think the more I think you actually are right. The reason why I say it is because you obviously got records like Wild Wild Steppers, when he talks about like pouring and then, you know, having sex with a white bitch and she's paying.
Yeah.
You get me? There's a lot of like, there's a lot of that, like there's an element of boisterousness.
It's like confessions,
It's element confession, element of boisterousness, and there's elements of like you know, this elements of like, oh shit, this is where I come from. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And then when we get to, let's say, I think Mr. Morale, that's when they get records like Mr. What's it called? Mother I Sober, Mr. Morale, and I think is it called Mirror as well? Is that this song? Which is, I can't please everybody. I can't please.
Yeah.
So there is this whole, you know, obviously the end process as well. So it makes sense. It makes sense what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Again, like Mr. Morale, like, you know, it's basically him again coming clean with his addictions and shortcomings, and
yeah.
possibly why he is the way he is. Possibly why like why is he flawed? He's basically letting you know why he is flawed. Again, even from the track Father I Cry, you know, tough love that was shown by his dad, which obviously resulted in daddy issues that he had. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like that song is very relatable to a lot of black what's it called? Black males that have grown up in the hood, you know, where it's like
don't show your emotions.
Yeah. It's like obviously if they've grown up with a dad, that dad is probably very sort of strict and very sort of hard, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like the love that they give, the affection that they give, because they probably weren't given that as a child. So it's like obviously they've carried on that sort of generational trauma. Yeah. And it's like a lot of fathers, you know, because they're heavily flawed, and because they've got a lot of trauma that they're yet to deal with, they don't understand, and they don't know how to show love to their child, especially obviously their son. And obviously it's important, man, when you're growing up, like you need for your parent, especially your father, being like a boy, you need them to show you love, you need them to show you affection. Do you know what I mean?
And he mentions the way that sort of affected him in the relationship, for example. I think
exactly. Yeah, he wasn't able. Exactly, his relationship with Whitney.
I think we'll stand up. I think there's a couple of lines around that. So yeah, there's almost like every time it's a juxtaposition, this song. So it's like, oh yeah, when I was growing up, this is how my daddy taught me to sort of be, and the consequences of that. So the whole verses continues to follow in that pattern as well. So it's really interesting, really, yeah.
Okay, and how he's not able to sort of trust people.
Even trust other people, and
other females. Yeah. How he's not able to sort of connect emotionally with somebody because you know, because of the lack of affection he got as a child from his dad. We Cry Together as well.
Yeah.
Which obviously is basically him going back and forth with the artist Tyler Page. Shout out to Tyler Page.
Her performance is incredible on that, though, man.
Her performance is incredible.
Incredible, 100%. Fam. I'm 100%. Like, yo, this girl needs to fucking put an album aside. She can.
She does. She can spit. She can absolutely spit. The fact that she kept up with Kendrick. Yeah, and I'll probably say that she was the highlight of that song.
Of course. And I think, I think Kendrick gave her that platform to be the highlight. It was more like, I feel like the more that she went on, and less rebuttal was coming from Kendrick, the more it felt like, yo, Kendrick or Kendrick's character that he's playing in the song clearly is the one who's bullshitting, or is more at fault to blame. Do you get me?
Exactly. And it's like, even with that song, you know, I did a review to it on our channel, and I basically said that like the song reminded me of Kim, which is the song on the Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay.
Yeah. Kev, you should check it out. Obviously, it's one of the standout songs on that album, and it was basically Eminem and Kim, his girlfriend at the time, going back and forth, similar to what Kendrick and
Tyler Page did.
But people that know of that relationship know
that relationship was super dysfunctional.
It was very toxic. It was very toxic, very toxic. I remember Kendrick said that one of his influences is Eminem.
Of course.
And how he used to sort of listen to the Marshall Mathers LP in heavy rotation. So I feel like he got the influence of that track came from this Kim record on Marshall Mathers LP. But yeah, like obviously that song We Cry Together is very it's a very touchy song. You know, it's a very touchy song because there's a lot of people, Kevin, you know, that are in abusive relationships. I know I know people personally that have sort of been in relationships like that. A brilliant song, man. It was a very I think there's a lot of songs on here. Yeah, I think there's a lot of songs on here that sort of hit a nerve and that are powerful, but this was definitely one of them. Do you know what I'm saying? I think also as well in N95, Kevin, he basically calls out cancel culture, saying that freedom of speech. I think there was one line where it says freedom of speech has been affected by sensitivity, or sort of he sort of alludes to that, how like obviously he doesn't really rate cancel culture. Do you see what I'm saying? Obviously cancel culture is a very big thing now, isn't it? Like anything someone does or says that is not really accepted by the masses.
They were trying
Exactly.
to band on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a form of witch hunting to an extent. Yeah. When I heard that, that reminded me of that record. I think there was another record that I didn't quite like. I think it was The Rich Spirit. I think it was. I thought that was a mid song. I just didn't like it. I felt like this was like a, just quite poor in terms of his production. I felt like he didn't have much direction to it, and I felt like it was a repeat to the N95, which is also repeat to other songs that he's done in this previous song as well. So that's what I thought of when I heard N95.
I feel like just obviously going back to what I prefer, because I didn't really think I said in it. I definitely prefer the Mr. Morale side of this.
That's
album.
part 2, is it?
Yeah, that's part 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's part 2. I liked I liked part 1, the Big Steppers. I feel like, funny enough, I feel like the production on that side was maybe slightly better, but
on the Big Steppers.
On the Big Steppers,
yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like Mr. Morale, it's basically Kendrick. It's like the human side of Kendrick,
which one? The
Mr. Morale.
Mr.
Morale.
Yeah. It's the breakthrough part, isn't it?
It's the breakthrough, exactly.
It's also the more heavier part, because that's where we get all the topical songs, isn't it?
Yes.
In comparison, actually, don't get me wrong, we do get topical songs on the Big Steppers, but we felt like it's more embedded. Like we kind of already know of that. You get me? But we're getting a full glimpse of it. But with the second part, that's where it's like, oh shit, this needs to change. Oh shit, you get me? So go on.
It's like the Big Steppers is like Kendrick. This it's basically the Kendrick that we know, Kendrick the artist. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, because again he made reference to on one of the songs, I can't remember, how like after the Good Kid, Mad City tour, he just spent bare cash on things that he really didn't need. Do you know what I mean? Like jewelry that he only wore once. He spent some of the money that he got from that tour on cars and stuff like that. And obviously he was just trying to keep up with the typical flashy rapper lifestyle. But it wasn't really him. Do you know what I mean?
That could be Mirror,
Nah, is it
Mr. Morale Mirror or?
It was definitely on the Big Steppers. It was definitely on the Big Steppers.
I know which record you're talking about. I think it's also that record where he talks about like not being a martyr, and I think it's a record. Is he talking about like? He was talking about people having this sort of fixation with celebrities and they being this, the individual to sort of to steer them to this, I don't know, to this high ground.
To put them on this put them on this
plateau. To steer them to this high ground. Saying that like you lot need to stop looking at it that way, which is quite interesting. Then I also had this interesting thought, and I don't know if what you think about it. I feel like sometimes Kendrick's got this messiah complex, and it's very interesting because loads of great artists have that. But maybe, obviously, Kanye West.
Kanye definitely has.
Obviously, we know Tupac had this massive. Tupac. You can argue if he modeled himself on one person, would be Jesus Christ. You get me, with the way he sort of carried himself, and I feel like Kendrick has that to a certain extent. Which to one point, I feel like, hold on, this is a little bit narcissistic. But then it makes me also think about the music industry and the way artists in general are so revered as if they are fucking gods or celebrities. You get me? It was quite nice that Kendrick Lamar was sort of breaking the chip like that. It was like, yo, fam, man, it's just the
I've got,
you get me?
And I think again that goes back to the Mr. Morale side, because on the track Savior, basically Kendrick's saying, listen, I'm just a human being. I'm not your savior. I'm not your savior. He's basically wants to show us that, listen, I'm just as broken as you are. I don't have all the answers. Do you know what I mean? So seek your own healing. Seek your own healing. Don't look up to these artists. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't look up to me, because listen, I'm I'm not Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not I'm not your savior. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not your savior. A lot of people worship these artists, you know what I mean?
For sure they do,
and they put them on such a pedestal where it's like, yo,
they're like demigods.
They think, exactly, it's like you're holier than thou type of thing. And when they make a mistake or when they do something and it comes out in the press, like yesterday they got caught, taking drugs, or they got caught, beating someone up or just doing something that they shouldn't be doing. People get shocked. Like people are surprised, but bruv, you shouldn't be surprised because these people are just human beings.
100%.
You know, they're just human beings, and that's what Kendrick's trying to say. Listen, like, don't look at me as a savior because I'm just as broken as you are. You know, I'm just as flawed as you are. You know what I mean? I've just got this supreme talent, but I'm not your savior. So stop looking at me like your savior. And I feel like maybe Kendrick struggled with that in the beginning. That's where again it goes back to the track where he says like, listen, F a cancel culture. I'm not holding my tongue. I'm not holding my tongue out no more. And I feel like Kendrick probably was doing that before because he didn't want to sort of because he probably slightly knew he was seen as this sort of this messiah. So if you're seen as that messiah, that's huge pressure. You don't really want to say. You could be thinking something here, but you don't want to say it because you're afraid that you'll get backlash from it, or you're afraid that you'll be cancelled. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. But I think Kendrick's now realized that listen, I'm not gonna hold my tongue out for nobody. That's why again he says, listen, what the F is cancel culture? I'll say what I want about you niggas. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. Now, yeah, I definitely sort of resonated more with the Mr. Morale side of the album. And again, there was just some beautiful storytelling on some of the tracks on that side of the album. Auntie Diaries, we've spoken about it.
Yeah,
My auntie is a man now. My auntie is a man now.
Yeah.
I can understand that was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I think you alluded to it earlier about Crown. I Can't Please Everybody.
Yeah.
Again, what you said, that was a beautiful piano key solo as well on that record. I think on the track Mirror, like you said, I Choose Me, I'm Sorry. Do you know what I mean? I choose me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, again, I choose me, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Again, that's him saying, listen, I'm choosing me now. You know, I'm choosing me over myself. No, I'm choosing me over others. Others. Yeah. Like I'm focusing on what truly matters in my life, my family. Like he references his kids a lot on this album as well. He's now a father of 2. I didn't even know that. I knew that he was a father of 1, but I didn't know about the second child. So they must have had that in secret, but he's now a father of 2. They must have had that in secret, but he's now a father of 2. You know, obviously he's got his wife there that he's been with for a long time. So it's like he's focusing on that side, you know. And I think it's beautiful, and I think a lot of people can relate to it as well. Kendrick mentioned on one of the tracks, that he's sacrificing himself so that people can start the healing. Do you know what I'm saying? So what he means by that is he's sacrificing he's sacrificing, how can I even call it? He's telling his story, He's telling his story so that it can help people. Just putting all his fears, all of his anxieties, you know, all of the stuff that he's had trouble with, he's putting that all on the line. You know, he's been an open book, which again, I'm probably Kendrick's a very private person. We don't really know too much about Kendrick's personal life. So for him to do all of that, Kevin, do you know what I mean? It's a big thing. So I feel like, you know, he's sacrificing himself in that aspect to start the healing. Do you know what I mean? To help people. Man. So Kevin, where would you rank this album in I think we already touched on it.
Yeah, we already spoke. I think I had it at, what did I have it again? 4th or 3rd or something like that.
Okay.
I think it was Good Kid, Mad City, Section 80, then this album, then Pimp a Butterfly, then Overly Dedicated, I think, and then Damn 6. I think that's my rating system so far. Could change in the future with this album. I think it's a really good album. I think it's a really good album. I don't really quite love it. Maybe in the future I will get to love it, but I think also I feel like maybe what I'm starting to feel with this album is same to Pimp a Butterfly, where I feel like Kendrick is amazing, but I just feel like the production could be God level-esque. Do you get me? But it still is a good album. Do you get me? It's almost like nitpicking if I'm really looking into it. Do you get me? Because you know what Kendrick brings both from a production level and also his own performance is just great enough to still make it an amazing album. Like he doesn't need to push it any more further, higher level. So yeah, I really love it, man. I really love it. I don't really love it, but I'm using the word love. But I really like that one. I really like that one. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I think I mentioned it before, but I definitely ranked this 3rd in his discography.
Yeah.
Whether I don't think it would ever sort of top to Pimp a Butterfly or Good Kid, Mad City. Yeah. But I'm not saying it's impossible, but I feel like it's gonna comfortably sit 3rd in Kendrick's discography in my eyes. It's a beautiful album, man. Like I felt like maybe the production on maybe one or two records was a bit shaky, but
which record? Which record did you? You didn't tell me which record you didn't like. Which record did you?
Yeah, like? I think you mentioned it before. Rich Spirit, I think.
Yeah, I thought Rich Spirit was. I was like,
yeah, it was. I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah,
I feel like it's a Drake record. You get me? Like, just you get me? Like, really pointless or some shit, man. There's another song. Which other song did you not like?
One, that I was like, I'm not too sure. Then maybe at first I didn't really feel too keen.
I think for me it's Count Me Out. I think Count Me Out. I can't lie. I think.
Oh, do you know what? Kevin? Count Me Out. Yeah, the second half.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like the first half. I thought was brilliant. But the second half, I feel like, I love when he count me. I didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought the first half.
I feel like I was angry because the first half was so beautiful. The first half was so beautiful, and then the second half, I was like, do you know what I mean? I don't really. But the first half got me in it, so I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm 50-50 with that record. You know what I mean? I love the first half.
For me, like I think we're basically agreeing with each other. You know, it's just those two records. I think Rich Spirit for me, like that could go. And Count Me Out, like you're saying, there's good elements to it, but then it's just like.
Yeah, I think initially I wasn't too keen on Mr. Morale, but the more I listen to it, the more I like it. Like,
what do you think? I think you put it on a group message as well, fam. You know, Kodak Black's performance, fam. What do you think?
Oh, my nigga Kodak. Actually, he's not even my nigga, I mean, I thought, Kodak, my God, fam. Like, because when I heard that Kodak was on this album, I was like, what have you done, fam? What have you done, fam?
Yeah.
But Kodak's placement on this album is genius. Like Kevin, like for me, that song that he was on, Silent Hill, oh my God, fam.
Yeah.
Bruv, I'm gonna say this quietly, but he kind of watches Kendrick on that song, you know.
Really?
He watches Kendrick on that song. Bruv, Kevin, I was shocked, fam. I was like, what? Is this really Kodak? Is this really what I'm hearing? I feel like he watches Kendrick on that track, you know.
I thought, you know what? I thought Silent Hill was okay, but where I loved Kodak was Rich Interlude, because Rich Interlude is basically like AZ on Life's a Bitch on Illmatic, where he like summarizes living that life. Do you get me? Growing up in that place. It's like he's giving you a whole thesaurus of like growing up being in that place from start to sort of to bottom, and he's just so interested sort of to see, and then also, you know, then him speaking to his journey and get to his place. But I think Kodak Black's placement is brilliant. I can't lie.
Brilliant.
I think it's really well. It's really like also Chief Keef on like
Yeezus.
On Yeezus. You know, the way Kanye's Chief Keef on I Can't Hold My Liquor, fam. Do you get me? Really
what separates the GOATs from the average artist, because they can get, Kanye's done it for years, where he's got an average to sort of decent artists,
like Paul Wall.
Like Paul Wall. You mentioned it before with Chief Keef. You know, he's done it with Nicki. He's done it with Ross. Obviously, Nicki and Ross, like, they're good rappers in it, but you know, they've put average to decent artists on a song, and they've gotten the best out of them. Do you know what I mean? Same with Kendrick. I mean, who would have thought Kodak would have been one of the highlights of this album? Like Kodak. I mean, Kodak's released a couple bangers, but overall, Kodak is not a good artist. You know, in my opinion. But
I agree.
But what Kendrick does, Kodak's placement on this album is perfect, fam. Do you know what I mean? It had me, it had me, wanting to listen to Kodak's music, fam. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, am I missing something?
The thing is, Kodak's got like certain records where it's like, my God. But again, it's the inconsistency that we're talking about. What do you think about, and Ghostface Killer as well on Purple
Ghostface Killer.
I love Ghostface.
One of the GOATs.
Really nice.
One of the GOATs.
Ghostface was nice.
I feel like the overall features on this album were just brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Florence, you know that Florence Ross was on. I think she did background vocals on one of the tracks.
I think was it not a sample? No, did you not sample Florence?
No, she had background vocals. No.
Oh, wow, okay.
Background vocals. Yeah. On one of the tracks, I can't remember what track it was. You know, he's playing.
Baby Kim did well. You know, on one of
he did very good.
The last. Bro, I didn't even know it was even him. Was it on Savior? Yeah, Baby Kim on Savior did really well. I was surprised.
Bro, the overall, bro, listen, even my nigga Blast on Die Hard. I think he's an RB artist, Kevin. You need to check him out. He's really good.
I mean, obviously, Sampa did this thing with Father Time.
Sampa did this thing.
Sampa, release your album for fuck's sake.
Release your album, bro.
You get me,
we're waiting
bro?
for it, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? We're waiting for it. But no, overall, I thought the features were absolutely immaculate, man. That was one of the strong points of this album. Even artists that we don't know about, Beth Gibbons, what's it called, Tana Leon. Like, you know, bruv, like everyone did their thing on this album, man. The features were perfect. Just a quick score on this album. What would you give it?
An 8. I give it an 8.
Okay. That's a great score. For me, I'll give it a strong 8 to light 9.
Okay.
Yeah, strong 8 to
light
9. Yeah. Strong 8 to light 9. It's a very good album, man. This album is very, very good. Definitely an album of the year contender. It's my album of the year so far.
It's in your list, isn't it?
This summer is definitely in my list, and it's going to stay there 100%. Man, shout out to Kendrick. I'm very intrigued to see, you know, where Kendrick is going to go from here. But we all know Kendrick's one of the GOATs.
Man.
One of the best artists of his generation. So whatever he releases next, we know that it's going to be good. But yeah, guys, listen. Tell us what you think about the album. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And me and Kevin will be back again real soon. But until then, peace out.